I went to Philly Memorial Day weekend 2025 to catch Metallica's M72 tour. 2 nights, no repeats, and let me tell you, it was nothing short of spectacular. I'm about to give you my complete review and let you know how it all went down.
Give me 2, give me 5, and a double touchdown!
What's up, guys? Birdman here, and in case you couldn't tell, Metallica is my favorite band of all time. Now, I've been a fan since I was about 9 or 10 years old. They were my introduction to heavy metal. I was a theater kid and doing a production of Peter Pan at the time, and an older kid in the production had a Walkman, and he let me check it out. He was like, you got to hear this. And that was the first time I heard Ride the Lightning. And from that point on, the rest is history.
All right, cool story, bro.
The first time I ever saw Metallica live was back in 2023, I believe.
What you talking about, Will? 2004, actually.
On the Madly in Anger with the World Tour. Now, this particular time that we just went was my 9th and 10th time seeing the band. But this time was a little different because I decided to take my 2 teenage daughters, Haley and Brianna, with me so that they could experience the mighty Metallica live and in person. And let me tell you, they might not have known every song. Hell, they might have only known a couple, but they were up on their feet the entire night, rocking out with good old Zad, and let me tell you, it just made the experience so much better. So since there were 2 shows with a day in between, I decided, why not make it a whole weekend trip? So that's exactly what we did. We planned a trip to see all the sights and sounds of Philadelphia, take in as many of the landmarks as we could, and so the girls could really experience the whole city and Metallica all at once. And I'll be posting a video of our entire trip in the very near future. So if you can, hit that like and subscribe, and you'll be able to catch that very soon.
Okay, let's get down to business.
As for day 1 of our trip, we started out in the morning. It took about an hour and a half to drive down there. We went to Fairmount Park. We saw some things, did some things there. And then after that, we decided we needed to get some pre-game food. And what's better than a cheesesteak in Philadelphia? And that's exactly what we did. We went down to South Philly. We went to Angelo's Pizza. And first time going there, I highly recommend. It's probably the best cheesesteak I've ever had in my life. And I mean, cheesesteaks and Metallica, you can't go wrong, right? So after we filled our stomachs, we checked into the hotel. We stayed a little bit outside of the city to save a couple bucks over by the airport. And then at about, I think it was about 4:30, we drove down to the stadium. We got a pretty good parking spot right on Broad Street. We parked right alongside the Wells Fargo Center. Parking was $40. I think it's generally about $40 for most shows and games that you go to down there. So I mean, it is what it is. It's not the highest price I've ever paid, definitely not the lowest, but we ended up getting out of that parking lot right away. It was like 5 minutes took us to get out of the lot, so I can't complain for night 1. Can't say the same for night 2, but we'll get to that a little later.
That don't sound too promising.
We just got here to Lincoln Financial Field, Metallica night 1. Let's head inside. So we started walking over to the stadium. I pulled up the tickets on my phone, and it said we should enter in through the Pepsi gate. So at that point, stadium's pretty big. We weren't sure which direction we should be heading. So I asked a security attendant who happened to be standing outside the building, and I asked where the Pepsi gate was, and she looked a little puzzled. And she said, pull up your tickets on your phone so I could see what section you're sitting in. And I showed her, we were in the 300 section, to which she looked even more puzzled. And at that point, all I'm thinking is,
No! God, please, no! No! No!
So as I'm panicking, she pulls over another security guard and says, hey, I'm really confused. We don't have a 300 section. Have you ever seen this before? And he looks even more confused than she does.
That don't sound like good news.
Eventually, we realized what the problem was, and I had actually pulled up my tickets from 2 years ago when we saw Metallica on the same tour at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, and they have a 300 level. Lincoln Financial Field, they only have a 200 level.
Dummy, yeah.
So once we got all that squared away, we got inside the building pretty quickly, And just like Robert Plant, we started to ascend the stairway to heaven. Actually, was an escalator. And another escalator. And another escalator. And, oh, did I mention my daughter, Brianna, hates escalators? But you know what? I said, I'm sorry. Your dad's just too old to take all those stairs.
Oh, give me a break.
So once we got up to the top level, we checked out the merch stand. There was quite a few pretty awesome options for t-shirts. And it was a hard time deciding. I did see one shirt that I wasn't sure exactly what was on it. It was kind of hard to see. More on that later, but I did not go with that t-shirt. The one I went with was not this one. This is from a couple years ago. Like I said, the first time we saw him on this tour. No, I decided to go with this one. Not this one. This one. Oh. Pretty sweet, right? We're inside the stadium. Ice 9 Kills is about ready to go on. Our seats are pretty badass. What do you think, Haley?
No, I don't like being up inside.
What do you think? So as you can see, we got settled into our seats, and it took a little bit for Haley to adjust to the heights. She didn't like it too much, but it didn't take too long for her to get more comfortable. The seats were pretty good. We sat in section 215, row 4. Now, the way it's set up is they're end zone seats, and there's 4 rows that you can go down once you enter that section. You can go down, and then there's 4 rows, and there's a barricade, kind of like a foundation wall. And then above that, you can go up, and all the rest of the rows going up to the top of the stadium. So we were in the 4th row, so we had that wall behind us, which was pretty cool, especially for an old guy like me. You know, you get to stand all night, kind of lean on the wall, so I was digging it.
Ridiculous.
Also, I gotta mention, when I saw Metallica 2 years ago at MetLife Stadium, we sat on the sides of the stadium up high, and these, I have to say, on the end zone, I would recommend them, especially at Lincoln Financial. We felt much closer than we had when we saw them at MetLife on the sides, and even at Lincoln Financial, the end zone is kind of a little bit lower, at least those bottom rows where we were, than the sides of the stadium are. So you're kind of a bit closer. Not to mention, I think MetLife is like 80,000 capacity, and Lincoln Financial is, I think, either around 45, 50,000, something like that. So it is a little bit smaller of a stadium. I would recommend the end zone seats again because we felt closer to the action than we did on the sides previously. Another thing I should mention is the price of the tickets.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
I'm not rich, and especially with 3 of us going, these are what I could afford. So for top level tickets, you know, the highest level that we can get, but at the bottom, it was $120 per ticket. So you're talking $60 a night. And 2 years ago when I saw the same tour, the ticket prices were exactly the same. They had not gone up. So in today's day and age, where these ticket prices at concerts are just getting to the point where it's not even feasible to go anymore, especially when you have a large group or a lot of people in your family. Now, if you want to sit on the floor, you know, you want GA, or especially, I mean, you can go crazy and get the Snake Pit tickets if you're lucky enough, but that's not me. So
Why is that?
Because you're a loser.
I was pretty happy with the seats we sat in, end zone seats. We got settled in, and we got ready for the opener to go on, which was Ice 9 Kills. Now, Ice 9 Kills went on at 6 o'clock, right on the dot, no waiting around, and they kicked it off with Ex Mortis. I gotta say, I was a little worried about going into this show, as the last time I saw this tour, the sound was atrocious, especially for the openers. And when Ice 9 Kills played 2 years ago when I saw them, I mean, it was barely audible. It was just a mess. And you gotta expect that too with an open air venue. These giant stadiums, they're massive. So the sound, it travels and it gets warped with the wind. So, I mean, you go in kind of expecting it not to sound great, but this was a huge improvement from when I saw them at MetLife Stadium. It could also have to do with our seating area, as opposed to we were sitting on the sides 2 years ago. This was on the end zone, so it's kind of hard to tell because the sound on this tour is not the greatest. That's one complaint I could say about the whole tour. They have these giant speaker towers, and there's 8 of them positioned all the way around the whole stadium. So what you're getting essentially is you're getting, no matter where you're sitting, the sound is directly facing you. But the opposite side, you also have these towers that are facing those walls, and they're bouncing off of the opposite sides of the stadium and coming right back to you. So you're just getting sound from all sorts of directions and echoes and everything. So that's one thing I would say that they could improve on the next time. Now, Ice Nine Kills always puts on a hell of a show, and this was no different. I've gotten to see them about 5 times over the past 5 years, and this time they played some newer stuff that I haven't heard live yet, like Meet and Greet. Their cover of Walking on Sunshine, which was lots of fun to see a giant axe-wielding sun man running around the stage. And a work of art featuring none other than Art the Clown, who was running around the stage swinging a baby by its umbilical cord.
He did what?
Relax, it was just a prop.
Oh, thank God!
They went on to play other hits like Hip to Be Scared, Worst Vacation, The American Nightmare, and Welcome to Horrorwood. Now, solid performance from Ice Nine Kills. I would definitely recommend checking them out if they go on tour near you in a smaller venue or even an arena. I mean, they gave it their all. They did their best. The best performance you're probably going to get in this type of a venue as an opening act. Up next was Limp Bizkit. Now, I haven't seen Limp Bizkit live in about 25 years. As a matter of fact, it was on the Family Values Tour, 1999, and I actually saw that show in Philly, right next door to Lincoln Financial Field at the Wells Fargo Center. Or at least now it's going to be called the Xfinity Live Center.
Close, but definitely wrong.
And before that, it was Wachovia Center or First Union Center, or I don't know. It's had a lot of name changes.
Thanks!
Anyways, Limp Bizkit took the stage, and as always, they brought the party. Fred Durst, his voice still sounds great, still holds up. Wes Borland always got the crazy antics going on. He came out dressed in like this mariachi outfit, complete with the luchador mask, with the giant mohawk thing going on. All original members of the band, including Sam Rivers on bass, John Otto on the drums, and of course, of House of Pain fame, DJ Lethal. They kicked it off with My Way, which I thought was kind of an odd choice for an opening song. More of a mid-tempo, slower-paced song than what you would normally see. They usually started off with one of their bigger hits, like Nookie, which is what they went into right after this.
Philadelphia! 3, 2, rock the fuck out!
So it was at this point that the craziest thing happened. Now, we had been checking the weather all week, even the day of the show, to make sure, because it's an open-air stadium, right? Anything can happen, and the weather looked perfect. But apparently, we weren't checking the same weather that everybody else around us did, because they came prepared with ponchos, and we did not. So the sky, all of a sudden, off in the distance, just started to all of a sudden become black. And then the wind whipped up. And then it started to torrential downpour. And we had to sit and enjoy the rest of the show in our soggy pants.
How soggy can a guy get?
But nothing would rain on Limp Bizkit's parade, as they kept it rolling with Rollin', Break Stuff, and Hot Dog. Actually, I stand corrected. It kind of did rain on Limp Bizkit's parade, or at least DJ Lethal's gear, because all of a sudden it stopped working. I guess shorted out, or I don't know. The rain got to it and got damaged a little bit, so there seemed to be some back and forth onstage banter between Fred and Wes in terms of what they were going to play. It seemed like they improvised a little bit and changed up the set list just to accommodate maybe some songs that didn't use a lot of the DJ effects. And they ended up playing Eat You Alive, which is not in their regular rotation. So that was kind of cool to hear something a little different that you don't get every night. So once everything started working again, they finished off their set by playing My Generation, which, awesome song to hear live. They went into Take a Look Around, they did Faith, the George Michael cover, and then finished it off once again by playing Break Stuff, which I've never quite understood, but Limp Bizkit seems to a lot of times play Break Stuff twice in their set. And personally, I would rather hear one of their other songs in their catalog. I mean, they got tons of great songs that they could play live. Instead of hearing the same song twice. I know the crowd is big into that song. It's an awesome song. Really gets everybody pumped and going. But, I mean, it could have been substituted for something else. So if I had a complaint, it would be not to hear Break Stuff twice. I would have either opened with it or closed with it. One or the other, but not both.
Oh, it's always something, isn't it?
All in all, Limp Bizkit put on a great show. They did an awesome job warming the crowd up, getting everybody pumped and ready for Metallica. The floor, there were pits all over the place breaking out. Limp Bizkit, a great live band to see. And I gotta say, even despite the rain and sitting in wet clothes for the rest of the night, it's still a fun memory that me and my kids talk about even afterwards, and probably won't soon forget. So if you get a chance to see Limp Bizkit live, even if you're not a huge fan like me, and they happen to be opening for a bigger band or anything like that, check them out. You'll be happy.
Oh, is that right?
So it was at this point that the sun began to set, and the anticipation for Metallica began to build. The speaker towers, with their big screens, they lit up with the custom graphics for the night for the Philly shows, which, remember that t-shirt I mentioned before that I wasn't sure what was on it at the merch stand? Well, it turns out that it was a demon devouring a cheesesteak. Now, I was a little sad that I hadn't gotten it because, I mean, Metallica and cheesesteaks are like two of my favorite things in the whole world, but there was always night two, so more on that later.
Always a stall. Wait.
The custom graphics, I just want to mention, they do these graphics for each show, and it's custom designed so that it fits a theme in terms of the city where they're at. So they're really well done, they're really cool. And if you can see behind me, these are the ones from 2 years ago at MetLife. I ended up getting the posters. The posters are a limited edition. Actually, these are kind of knockoffs that I got on eBay because they're crazy expensive, but that's another story for another day.
Speaking
of cheapskates.
If you end up seeing one of these shows and you can get one of the custom shirts with those designs, definitely a collector's item, as people go crazy with these things online.
Who are you calling crazy?
So it was at 8:45 on the dot, just like every other show on this tour, when the lights go down and the speakers get cranked up with the sounds of AC/DC's It's a Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll. So everybody starts to get pumped up, as you can usually see Metallica make their way down through the guardrail to the center stage to get ready to go on. The screens, they usually show old pictures of the band, which is really cool. It's usually photos from when they played in the city that you're in over the years, so that's a really nice touch that they add to the live shows. And then the lights go down once again, and you get the oh so familiar sounds of the Ecstasy of Gold, which Metallica has been using as their intro track since like the dawn of time, and it's probably the most epic sounding intro track. Every single time I get goosebumps, the lump in your throat, the butterflies in your stomach, man. It's just, maybe it's just because Metallica is my favorite band, but I know there's no feeling like it in the world. Getting ready to see Metallica as the final seconds tick down before they take the stage, there's no feeling like it. So the boys kicked it off with Creeping Death, which has been the opener for night one on most of this tour, which is a little different than previous tours that I've seen them on, where most of the time they played a couple songs or like the first song off of whatever album that they have that they're promoting at the time. This tour was a little different, where it feels like they're playing most of their greatest hits. It's the 2 nights, no repeats, so you're getting pretty much the best of Metallica with a couple new songs thrown in, so I really like this format on this tour. Usually the next couple songs they like to rotate and switch up every night. This particular night we got Harvester of Sorrow, which sounded super heavy live with that thumping bass. Then they played Holier Than Thou off the Black Album, and King Nothing off of Load, which is always a great one. I love hearing that one live. I gotta say, the band was sounding amazing. James' voice, top notch. I mean, these guys are in their 60s up there, still rocking out like it's 1989, and I gotta say, it's the best the band has sounded in years. It's at this point in the show where they usually play a couple off of the new album, 72 Seasons. For this particular night, they played the title track and then went into If Darkness Had a Sun, which is probably one of my favorite ones off the album. I can say it's not my favorite Metallica album by any means, but it's growing on me. And this is one of the ones I like hearing live probably the most. One thing I did enjoy is that when I saw them a couple years ago, they were playing 3 songs off of the 72 Seasons album. This time, they seem to, it's a couple years later, so they've been playing this material for a while longer. It's sounding better too, it's more polished than a couple years back when they were playing these songs for the first time. But they've dropped one song each night. So now we're getting 4 songs total instead of 6. So there's lots more room for all the old ones, all the hits. James and Lars then took a little breather. And at this point in the show, every night, Kirk and Rob do their little doodle. That's what they call it. It's kind of like a little jam session where they improvise or they play something different every night, something fun. Just, you can tell they're out there having a good time, having fun with it. This particular night, we got To Live Is To Die off the Injustice for All album, which was pretty cool to hear a stripped down version of that live. I was not expecting that. I should also mention that Lars' drum kit had moved a couple times at this point in the night, and it's pretty cool. What they do is they play a few songs, and then there's like a little break. They do like these ambient videos on the big screens and this ambient sounding music intros to the next song, and it's during those points where you barely even notice it. It's so seamless that they drop down the drum kit through like a trap door in the stage, and then move a little bit over to the right, and then bring up another trapdoor which has another drum kit. So Lars gets to move around the stage all night, and I think he moves like 4 or 5 different times throughout each night, as do everybody else in the band. So everybody, no matter where you're sitting, you kind of get a good view of all the members of Metallica. Next up was Cyanide off the Death Magnetic album, which was a surprise because this is one that they haven't been playing on a regular basis, something new that they had started to rotate into the set. And I gotta say, like, they had these really cool animations up on the screen all night, and they had like these people that looked like they were trapped in these coffins trying to break out, trying to escape. And it was just so visually appealing. Like, I couldn't take my eyes off these things. It's at this point in the night where they usually do an instrumental track. Usually night 1 is Orion, night 2 is Call of Cthulhu, and this time was no different. We got Orion, and I might take a little bit of heat for saying this, but personally I've never been a huge fan of that song. I don't know, I like Call of Cthulhu a little better, but...
I can't believe you just said that.
Honestly, they've been doing this part in the show since 2 years ago, since the tour started, and I would have liked to have seen them kind of change it up by now and incorporate some other songs instead of the instrumental ones. But hey, each to their own, right? They played Nothing Else Matters, which of course is one of their staples. They always play that one. It's always neat to see the whole stadium lit up with everybody's cell phone lights. Always a cool moment. James then took some time to chat with the crowd, rip on the Eagles a little bit, which I thought was kind of funny.
There's some famous team, I don't know, the Beatles or something that play here, Philadelphia, something. Coming from a Raider fan, all right. We are honored to play in your stadium here. Congratulations, you football fans. Oh my God, there's people way the fuck up there. Look at that! Whoa! Be careful up there, all right? Do you want heavy? Do you want heavy? Metallica gives you heavy, baby!
You always know when he mentions something heavy coming, it's going to be Sad But True. They went right into Sad But True, always a banger. They ended that really cool with James getting real down and dirty with the guitar, getting on his knees. Pretty cool moment. From this point on, we got nothing but bangers for the rest of the show as they played Fight Fire with Fire. We got treated to some kick-ass pyro with Fuel, which is always one of my favorites to hear live. Seek and Destroy was the one that brought out the beach balls, which has been a tradition of Metallica's for quite some time now. I feel like every tour, though, the beach balls, they keep getting bigger and bigger. They have them drop out of the towers, the speaker towers, so you don't know that they're in there. So if you've never seen a Metallica show, it's quite a surprise when all these balls just start dropping all over the place, flying all around the stadium.
You play with your balls a lot.
Tell me, he didn't just say that.
What's kind of disappointing is you see some people fighting over them more than anything and trying to pop these things and take them home with them as a souvenir, which I gotta say, I mean, what do you even do with something that big when you get it home anyway?
Wouldn't you like to know?
And of course, after an amazing 2 hours, they closed out the night with Master of Puppets. The last song of night one, which was awesome as always. The crowd went home happy. My kids had a great time. I had a great time. Probably one of the best Metallica shows I've ever seen, and we were so happy to have seen this one. We did stay to watch them take their final bow.
Metallica loves Philadelphia!
And after hearing all the boys say their goodbyes for the night, we headed down like a million stairs, like a giant herd of cattle, down into the parking lot. And surprisingly, we were out of that parking lot in about 10 minutes, like I said, which I can't say the same for night two, but we'll address that in a little bit.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So the next day, we took a breather from Metallica. We got to see a lot of the landmarks in the city. We did so much. It was exhausting, but we had a great time. Sunday, we went to visit Penn's Landing. We did a tour of a submarine and a ship down there, which was really cool. We did some shopping on South Street and got some lunch. And then it was time to head down to Lincoln Financial Field once again for night two of Metallica. So since we started our trek to the stadium taking a different route than we had the first night, we ended up parking in a different lot than we did on night one. Now, first of all, we got in the line, which I thought was near where we were before, but it was not. We got in the line of traffic, we got all the way up to the parking lot, and then that's where I saw the sign that said $80 for all vehicles.
You must be out of your mind.
Luckily, the cops were nice enough to let me do a U-turn in the middle of the road because there was no way in hell I was paying $80 to park. Where all the other lots were $40 a piece, or it was $80 if you had like an oversized vehicle like an RV or you needed to take up multiple spots. But I'm sorry, I'm not paying no $80. So
You cheap bastard.
we ended up parking in a different lot than we did the first night. And it was unfortunate because it did take us about 2 hours to get out of this lot. It was terrible. Everybody in the lot was ready to kill each other.
Cry me a river, dickface.
Night two, the end of the night, was not so much fun. But the show, on the other hand, was pretty badass. So once we got parked, we started our walk over to the stadium. I made sure to pull up the correct tickets this time on my phone. And we got inside the stadium. This time we went into a different gate, I guess, and we took a different escalator, which we got a nice view of all the production trucks. I mean, so many of them out there that it takes to put this amazing show together. So that was kind of a neat little treat on the way up the escalators. So once we got to the top, we checked out the merch stand again, and to my surprise, they had the Demon Cheesesteak shirt. It's not this one, but it's this one. See? It's a demon, and he's eating a cheesesteak, and there's lots of cheese dripping, and it looks so delicious. I mean, Metallica and cheesesteaks, what's not to love?
Something's wrong with you, buddy.
So night one kicked off with Suicidal Tendencies, and I've never seen these guys live before. They're not exactly my type of band, but they were awesome live. And they've been around since 1980, which is like 45 freaking years. So that's incredible in its own right.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Interesting side note, Robert Trujillo used to play bass for Suicidal Tendencies, and his son Ty now plays bass for Suicidal Tendencies. So that's pretty cool, right? Especially getting to tour with his dad, I mean, on this massive stage. So, I mean, it's like a family affair.
Isn't that sweet?
Suicidal Tendencies put on a hell of a show. Frontman Mike Muir is like a wild man up there, running all over the stage, inciting the crowd into a frenzy. I mean, you had mosh pits breaking out left and right all over the place. They started off with You Can't Bring Me Down, and it was just mass chaos. When they played the song Institutionalized, Mike Muir went off the stage into the crowd and literally sang the song in the crowd, walked around half the stadium on the floor, amongst the pits, even getting in the pits. Some of the people down there didn't even realize that he was standing right next to him, singing on the microphone the whole time. I mean, that's pretty wild. Next, they played Subliminal and Adrenaline Addict, which were two of my favorites that they played. On Adrenaline Addict, they brought out Nisha Starr, which is actually the girl that sings guest vocals on the song, on the recording. It's not all the time where you actually hear the song as it's intended when they play it live with, you know, if they have like a guest vocalist or somebody joining the band on the recording. It's pretty rare to actually see that happen live and in person. So I really enjoyed that part of the show. Also, the bass playing on this song is sick. They finished off their set with Pledge Your Allegiance, Psycho Vision, and How Will I Laugh Tomorrow. Again, I'm not a huge fan of this music or the style, which is kind of a mashup of like hardcore and thrash, but they were really good live. I mean, with Mike Muir on the floor, walking the whole floor, Nisha Starr on guest vocals. You even had their guitarist crowd surfing while playing the guitar in the crowd. I mean, they put on a hell of a show, and I was super impressed. They got everybody warmed up and ready for the next band, which was Pantera. Unfortunately, though, we did miss the first song of Pantera's set, which was a New Level. We were still up in the concourse area, but that's okay. Pantera sounds awesome live, and I know they got a lot of backlash when they first announced that the band was going to continue on, you know, without Dimebag, without Vinny. But I think that's kind of starting to die down a little bit. I think people are appreciating the band more, appreciating hearing these songs played once again live. And I gotta say, if you get a chance to go see Pantera live, do it. They sound amazing. Zakk Wylde kicks ass up there. Of course, the other founding member, Rex Brown, still rocking the bass. You got Charlie Benante from Anthrax doing a great job on drums. Phil's voice still sounds great, and Pantera kicked ass. The set list included Mouth for War, Strength Beyond Strength, Becoming, I'm Broken, They did the Cemetery Gates tribute on the big screen, the tribute to Dime and Vinny, which they've been doing since they got back together and started doing this thing again. I only wish they would actually play this song live, but it's probably for the best because I don't know if Phil can actually hit those notes anymore nowadays. So it's always nice to see that they still include the tribute during their show. From there, they went into 5 Minutes Alone. I feel like Phil did a lot more interacting with the crowd this time as opposed to when I saw him 2 years ago on this same tour opening for Metallica. There was a lot more banter with the crowd in between songs, and it was nice to see that interaction incorporated more into their show.
Thank you. Oh my Lord. Thank y'all so much, man. This is a great audience.
They played This Love, which is one of my all-time favorite Pantera songs. Phil kind of did struggle on some of the clean parts, but killed it on the choruses and the rest of the song. That was great to hear live. Again, mosh pits everywhere on the floor. They got the crowd really fired up. They finished off their set with nothing but bangers. We got Fucking Hostile, Walk. And of course, they ended the night with Cowboys from Hell. Always great to hear live. What a killer show by Pantera. Knocked it out of the park. Killer show from Pantera. Once again, if you're still on the fence about seeing this version of the band, I would recommend doing it. I mean, unfortunately, we're never going to get Dime, we're never going to get Vinny back, but this version of Pantera is doing their best. They're doing a great job paying tribute to all these songs, giving them new life, and just being able to hear it all live once again is a great time. So I would recommend checking out Pantera if they come to an arena near you. At this time in the night, once again, it was time to get ready for Metallica. The anticipation began to build, the goosebumps, the butterflies. We got the wave going on, AC/DC hits the speakers, and then we get Ecstasy of Gold. And here we go, Metallica taking the stage on night 2, opening with Whiplash. Then they went right into For Whom the Bell Tolls, of course, one of their staples. Never get tired of hearing that song live. Went right out of this into Ride the Lightning, which that one is always killer to hear live as well. James then interacted with the crowd a little more before they went into The Memory Remains.
Bring your loud voices with you.
At this point, it was time in the night for the new material off of 72 Seasons. This time we got Lux Aeterna and Screaming Suicide. James then introduced Kirk and Rob again.
Ready for this, Kirk? All right, you've been working on this script a few hours here, so bear with us and God bless us all. Here we go.
This time it was awesome because they played Disposable Heroes. That was a super surprise. I never saw that one coming. If only we would have gotten the rest of the band to join in on that one. I did hear them play that one time. I think it was probably the first time I ever saw the band, and I mean, what an amazing song to hear live. But beggars can't be choosers, right?
I'm begging you.
They also played Gonna Fly Now, the theme from Rocky, which was kind of funny because, of course, we're in the city of Philadelphia, the home of Rocky, so that was fun. I was actually surprised that they played Fade to Black, as it hadn't been in regular rotation on this tour, or at least from what I was seeing, looking at the set lists online. And then James went into this really emotional speech in the middle of the song about suicide. Very uplifting stuff.
I know darkness. I know everyone here knows darkness. And we don't know how dark it needs to get to go there. But that permanent solution to a temporary problem is not worth it. I say talk. Talk that shit out. Get that shit out. That's not why you're here. You are here to be loved and cherished. So talk to your friends. Talk to a stranger. Talk to anybody, man. Because you are worth it, and we need you here. Are you with me?
Then they played Wherever I May Roam off the Black album. The instrumental for the night, Night 2, which is always Call of Cthulhu. Again, I prefer that one to Orion, but I would have rather seen this time around them switch out the instrumentals for something different, or even a different instrumental for that matter. We got some more Black Album stuff as they went into the Unforgiven. Minor complaint, but I feel like there was a lot of more slower ballady kind of stuff on Night 2 than there was on Night 1. I feel like the pace was a little uneven at times. I think if they would have kind of switched out some songs from Night 1 to Night 2, it would have kind of leveled it out a little bit better.
They don't know that song, do you?
Oh, yeah?
They teased us with The Shortest Straw, which always hope for that one live, but we didn't get it. At least we got a little taste of it.
All the justice, something else and chocolate. This goes to prove that after 45, 44 years, there's still room for improvement, all right? You know, we're working on getting professional. We're gonna go pro one day.
Lars and Rob then jammed for a little bit, which went right into Whiskey in the Jarro. They kicked up the heavy a little bit with some Blackened, which sounded awesome. We got our pyro songs for the night with Moth into Flame. Even though I feel like I'm not as big of a fan of this song as I used to be, it's still fun to hear live. From there, they went right into the epic intro to One. I had told my girls previously before the show what to kind of expect, and they were kind of blown away by that battle war zone scene that Metallica always does before this song. Always really cool. You got bombs dropping, fire going off, explosions. It sounds like helicopters are descending on you. Really cool stuff. And One, always an amazing song to hear Metallica play. One of the essential Metallica songs. And then, no Metallica show would be complete without hearing Enter Sandman, which was the closer for night 2 of Metallica. Two nights, and what an amazing show. What an amazing couple of nights that we got to enjoy. It was even more special for me. Like I said, I got to bring my kids and got to share the whole Metallica experience with them, and it just made it so much more special for me. Gotta admit, I got a little choked up at the end, seeing everybody say their goodbyes on night 2, as this put a cap on our weekend in Philadelphia.
You fill my heart. You fill my heart, Philly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for a great 2 nights. We'll see you next time. Yeah! Party at church house, all right? Yeah!
Just had 2 fucking nights here. The best weekend we've ever had in Philadelphia! Woo! Thank you so much. We fucking love you, and we will see you not soon enough. Thank you!
If I had any other complaints, it would have to be that night 1 had, I think, the better set list than night 2. Like I said, it could have been evened out a little bit better if they just, placed things a little differently. Another thing, I feel like Lars used to be really good with Like, he's very anal about the set list and doing the set list every night so that, you know, you don't hear the same songs as you did a couple of years back in the same city. This time, it was virtually the same set list that I saw them play 2 years ago in New Jersey, which is not far, you know, not far down the road. So if I had any complaint, it would be that. And also, before I die, it would be nice to hear my favorite Metallica song of all time, The Four Horsemen, played live. And after seeing them 10 times, you still haven't played it, guys. I mean, there's still time to do it. There's still time.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
All kidding aside, I was just happy that I was able to score these tickets again, share the experience with my children, to be there live to see Metallica in 2025 on this No Repeat tour. Hopefully they do this format again, because it's really cool. I love that you get to hear, you know, so many different songs over the course of 2 nights. So I hope they continue this on to the next tour. Would be really cool to go see again. And I can't recommend it enough. If you've never seen Metallica, do it now, the next time they play your city, because you don't know how long these guys are going to be doing it. You got to go see Metallica.
Yeah, what he said.
Now, if you went to these shows in Philly, or if you saw any of the other shows on this particular Metallica tour, let me know in the comments. Tell me what your favorite songs were that they played live. Tell me what your favorite parts were, who you like seeing open for the band, which night was better for you. Let's chat in the comments below. Also, please like and subscribe. I'm just starting this channel out. I'm kind of getting my bearings. It's a little slow going right now. I'm trying to make time for everything, but I'm doing my best. Please like and subscribe, as it'll really help me out. It'll help the channel grow. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. Until next time, keep it metal.